The last memory Alara carried from her former life was pain. It burned in her chest like a cruel fire as she bled out on the cold marble floor, abandoned and betrayed. Her hand had reached desperately for Damien, the man she thought she loved, only to see his back turn, his arm wrapped around another woman. He hadn't even looked back when she cried his name. Darkness consumed her. And then, silence. When her eyes opened again, the world was different. She awoke in a chamber of obsidian walls carved with ancient sigils, a place she had never seen before yet felt strangely bound to. The air was thick with power, a hum that resonated in her veins. She looked down at her hands, paler than before, the nails sharper, the skin almost glowing under the faint silver torchlight. Whispers echoed in her head. You are the heir, the true master of the Nightborn bloodline. Her lips parted in disbelief. What, am I? A tall, cloaked figure stepped from the shadows, bowing low before her. His voice was reverent. My lady, you have awakened. The council has waited for centuries. You are now the supreme of the Nightborn clan. Shock rippled through her. Supreme? The highest seat of power among vampires? She, who had once been discarded like nothing. Alara clenched her fists, a cold fire rising in her heart. She remembered the betrayal, the laughter of those who called her weak, the hollow promises of love. And now, fate had given her another chance. A second life, but this time, with unimaginable power. Still, she swallowed her fury. No one must know, she whispered. Not yet. If the world learned she had returned as the clan's ruler, enemies would rise, traitors would circle, and Damien, yes, Damien, might come crawling back with empty words. No. She would remain hidden, a ghost in the shadows, watching, waiting, building. For now, she wore the mask of an ordinary vampire noblewoman. Attending gatherings, keeping her aura muted, letting the world underestimate her. But in the stillness of the night, when she stood alone in the ancestral hall, she felt the throne calling to her, the throne that was hers by blood and destiny. Weeks turned into years. Alara moved like a quiet storm. While others flaunted their power, she studied, trained, learned the depths of her abilities. Her control of shadow magic grew sharp enough to bend the will of lesser clans. She discovered she could summon storms with a flick of her hand, silence a room with her gaze. Yet she remained low profile, letting rumors spread that she was little more than a reclusive aristocrat. Meanwhile, whispers of Damien reached her ears. He had become ambitious after her death, founding his own house, gathering followers with promises of strength and prosperity. He was no longer the boy who betrayed her but a man with an empire of his own. To outsiders, he seemed powerful. To Alara, he was still the coward who had left her bleeding on the floor. Her lips curled into a bitter smile whenever his name surfaced. Let him build his castle of sand. I will not be the one to topple it. Not yet. Her life shifted one moonless night when the court announced the arrival of Lucien, the mysterious head of an ancient, reclusive vampire family that had not surfaced for centuries. The air itself seemed to darken when he entered the grand hall. Tall, broad-shouldered, with eyes like molten silver and an aura that pressed on the chest of every vampire present, Lucien commanded silence without a word. He was power incarnate, a figure even the elders whispered about. Alara stood among the crowd, veiled in her calm, and yet, when his gaze swept the hall, it stopped on her. For a heartbeat, she forgot to breathe. His eyes pierced through her carefully built disguise, as if he saw not just the woman standing before him, but the queen beneath. A flicker of something unreadable passed across his expression. Recognition? Intrigue? Alara lowered her gaze, willing herself into composure. She could not afford attention, not from him, not yet. But fate was cruelly insistent. That night, as the hall emptied and the nobles retired to their chambers, a low voice emerged from the shadows behind her. "You hide your crown well," Lucian murmured. Her heart froze. She turned slowly, meeting those silver eyes again. "I don't know what you mean." A faint smirk tugged at his lips. "You will."
Click text to speech and there is an options bar on the right with voice, translation, emotion, speed and volume.
The tool link is shared in the post and the comments.